Hello Scottsdale, here's another video featuring Permaculture Dan. The following is an educational permaculture video presented by Warner's Tree Surgery featuring Daniel Lee Thompson at his home food forest in Gilbert, Arizona, sometime in April 2012.
Yeah, so, Mr. McDonald. Okay, we'll go back there.
We're live.
Rami Koch bought the coastal forests of Maui because he didn't want to ship beef to Hawaii. And because it rained every afternoon at 3:30, he says, by the way, I'll cut all the trees down and sell them to Japan at whopping profit. And put pastures out there, and it'll rain every day at 3:30 in the afternoon. And it does. Where? 30 miles inland where the forest starts. And then it backs up a little bit, but it doesn't back up enough to hit the edge of the island, which is turning into a desert, and it absolutely killed the Paradise Island offshore. And since the Paradise Island no longer rained and all the fresh water disappeared, our Navy said, well, this is such a useless place, we'll just make it a bombing range. And so it now is just a dead island covered with exploded and unexploded ordnance.
So when they had a rainforest, it rained, and when they cut it down, it quit raining.
It quit raining. Does it get any simpler than that?
You know what?
So what's the answer? The answer is put it back. And the putting it back in these three simple things: uncompact the land, pattern to catch the runoff, and the pioneer species. Why pioneer species? And what are pioneer species? Dandelions, weeds, the things that you call weeds, are God's recovery plants. Why? Because they'll live in the toughest environment you could possibly imagine. They'll sink roots, and they'll surrender themselves over and over again until some other fruitful thing takes their place, and they then no longer exist. So instead of kill them. Because anytime you try and kill this stuff with poison, all you're doing is killing yourself. Yeah. So roll them over quickly. And that's what's taken place here. We have rolled this over. You're sitting in a food forest that 10 years ago was a flat lawn and is just as dead as that.
So to get this straight then, the first thing you do is you have to recontour the land. The second thing you have to do is you have to bring in the pioneer species, and during that time you're probably going to have to provide water, or they're not going to live, especially if they're in a desert. And then once that goes on for a while and your larger plants can populate, then the rains begin to come back.
Right, and guess what happens? It will rain more on your place than any other place around.
You know, when I first heard that, I didn't have the understanding of biochemistry that I do now, but there's another thing that I came to realize about a year ago, that in the mitochondria, which are in the plant leaves, they actually produce water.
Yes.
To get rid of the two free electrons, when the ATP is produced, the ATP synthase actually jams some stuff together and actually creates water. So if you've got plants and a given amount of water, you're actually getting more water out than you put in.
That's right, right. Because it's pulling from multi sources. And
now, do you think the fact that it's cooler has anything to do with bringing the rain?
Yes, absolutely. Because, first of all, what's dew point? Dew point is the temperature at which water will coalesce and form. So what happens here is, if I see the clouds coming and they're building, because I run out and turn on all the sprinklers. Why? I will hit dew point faster than any place else around. The rocks, you got to overcome a whole bunch of heat off the rocks to get this. And I have uncountable stomata here that when I start doing this, and I'll actually take a hose with a sprayer, and I'll start spinning circles and shoot it high up as I can. And sometimes when the thunder and lightning are getting close, it tingles. You want to put it down and get away. Don't do that for a long time. Anyway, I was standing in front, doing just that at this corner in front of the rose bush, and it starts to rain. And it is just this misty, and it's raining on us. It's 6.5 feet over this way, 6.5 feet out in the road. Only the sidewalk got wet, and only made this much of the street. And I'm standing in it, and I'm going, and I'm there for quite a while, and long enough to stop and put it down. And I went inside and got my mother. Mom, come out here and take a look. We're in the rain. And we were standing and walking in the rain here. And I said, but look across the street.
Nothing's happening.
Nothing's happening. In the yard next door, nothing's happening. And I actually then had time to go back in and get my brother, bring him out, and I stood him out here, and he went, what? What's that? And I said, Keith, don't you see what's happening? Yes, raining, so what? So I said, walk down the sidewalk. So he's walking down the sidewalk in the rain. As soon as he crosses over here, I said, notice any difference? It was not raining. He goes, wow, what? How'd you do that?
This video was made in Gilbert, Arizona. The person talking is Dan Thompson. Dan can be reached at 480-688-3335.